Welcome to day 2 of the draft. Pleased to be joined by two legends, Steelers Hall of Famer Franco Harris and Daryl McDaniels of Run DMC, a lifelong Steelers fan. So let's just get this conversation going. I know that Franco is somebody that you have loved forever. So kind of take us through how you became a Steelers fan and why Franco is one of your favorites.
Well, when I was growing up in Hollis, Queens, New York, I was this little kid and I was always into comic books. And I was always into fascinating, exciting, impressive things, you know, as a little kid, especially from reading these comic books. And then when the Pittsburgh Steelers came along, there was just this amazing feeling that I would get when I was watching it. First of all, the uniforms was off the hook. The style was crazy. The black and gold with the black jersey and the black stripe down the leg. These guys really looked good at what they did. But then when I looked at the composition of the team from, you know, Franco Harris to Rocky Blyer to Jack Lambert, you know, Coach Chuck Noll, Terry Bradshaw, Mean Joe Green, L.C. Greenwood, Mel Blount. There was just something so super heroic about these guys. You know what I'm saying? And the way they played at the top of the game. And what attracted me to Franco Harris was that I always wanted to be a running back. My whole life I wanted to be a running back, but all the schools that I went to never had a football team. But when you were growing up, it was always something about the number 32 that was appealing to running backs and stuff like that. But Franco, when you came along, you had this little swag about you because, you know, you had this beard. And I was like, whoa, yo, who's this dude? You know what I'm saying? So you was the beard before James Harden, but it was just something about your demeanor that was like, it was very pleasant. You showed improved on the football field. You wasn't arrogant. And that combination of you and you was like the Captain America of the Avengers. And then you had all of these, you know, super cool, super bad dudes around you. And it was just the Pittsburgh Steelers was a huge inspiration on me that gave me confidence as a little kid that went to Catholic school. It was the one thing that let me know, man, I'm going to be all right on this earth. And ever since then, nothing will ever change because of you guys, man. Thank you.
Well, Daryl, that's interesting. Now I know where you got the word run.
Exactly.
You know, I said. Okay, you want to be a running back.
Yes, I wanted to be a running back all the time. But all the schools that I went to, they never had a football team. So you guys was my outlet to professional football team. Because of y'all, I feel like a huge part of the National Football League.
Well, you know what? Thank you for your words. I mean, and to use that word again, during those 70s, early 80s, we had quite a run. And
yes, y'all did.
And it was a lot of fun. And I tell people that, man, I hope people enjoyed that because it was great. It was fantastic. And so when I hear people refer back to it and say, man, it was awesome. It really was, you know, it really was a big deal to me when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, makes you feel good. And as you said, we had some characters on our team.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was beautiful to watch that.
You know, from Bradshaw to Lambert, Joe Green, Mel Blount, and you know, we just had, as I said, it was quite a run. And also, I want to say, you know, I keep using this pun, but you had quite a run too.
Huge, yes. Thank you.
And you know, like I mean, you know, once you hear that song. You know, walk this way. I mean, you can't get it out of your head. You know, it's like it's in there forever. It's like, wow.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
And so as I mentioned that, you know, music and sports goes, you know, hand in hand.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and you know, for us to be able to perform, you know, and that we hope that we bring joy and feel good, you know, to people and you know. People to gather around and now like I want you to know back in the day I did dance.
Oh really?
Not quite like you, but you know,
right.
on a few moves.
So
you know, a few moves on the field,
that help you out there on the field, of course. Yep.
Hey, Missi, sorry, we're getting carried away here.
Yeah.
I am absolutely loving this conversation. As you said, football, dance, music, this is all up my alley. But let's talk about the fact you guys have a pretty big job tonight for day 2 representing the Steelers organization, getting to announce the round 2 and round 3 picks. What does that mean for you? Daryl, we'll start with you.
Well, first of all, I've been performing on stage for over 35 years, so you would probably think I'm used, but for me, it's a privilege and an honor, and it's a huge responsibility. I don't know if Franco is gonna give me some tips, but this is one time in my life I'm kind of nervous because I don't want to mess it up. I would never think in a million years in this lifetime that I would actually get to do something with the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is blowing my mind. But it's a huge responsibility, honor, and a privilege, and I'm going to make sure that I will not do nothing to disappoint Franco or anybody within the Steelers organization.
Well, we love that it's happening at the draft that's in Cleveland, where you are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So this, to me, just seems to be perfect. So we are so glad that you're doing that. And Franco, do you want to offer him any advice?
Hey, Missi, I want to say, there's no doubt, we know he's a pro. He's a pro at this. I know, and you know what? I want to say, with him being nervous, he's ready.
Okay, that's the key.
Absolutely, he is ready, and Daryl, it makes me feel so good to connect Steeler fans to us, and
yes.
Steeler Nation is just incredible. We have fans all over the country, all over the world.
Over the world, yes.
And so it just makes us feel good. We look back and we say, "Wow, it was tough during those years." But things like this makes it worth it.
Yes, it does.
Hearing your story makes it worth it.
Yes,
wow.
It does.
All right, last question for you guys, just very quickly. Franco, I know you tweeted out some of your instant reaction, but the Steelers going with a running back in the first round on Thursday night, Najee Harris. It'll be good to see Harris on the back of another Steelers jersey. What are your thoughts?
Okay, you go first.
No, go ahead.
I think he's going to bring a very necessary, important impact to the level of play that the Steelers always have represented. I think when you look at it, he's part of the ingredients that needed to continue to play superior and at a higher level. And it's just funny, you're never too sure, especially from a fan or especially from a vantage point outside of not being on the field or not being in the room, in the practice field and stuff like that. When I landed here yesterday in Cleveland, I'm walking through and people were kind of mad at me because I had the Steelers jacket on. But since it was DMC, I got a pass. It was like, come on, DMC, what are you doing? What are you doing? But it was interesting that most of the people, even on the Cleveland side, and as I traveled through the town, even the Cleveland people was like, what do you want? What are y'all looking for? Running back? I got that about 6 or 7 times. So I guess whatever vibe was in the air, whatever spirit was going around, we made the right decision bringing Najee on board, and I think he's gonna impress Franco, and I hope the other running back that I got the pleasure of meeting one time, Jerome Bettis. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully he stands on the shoulders of those incredible athletes before him.
I just want to say with Najee coming from a great program in Alabama, I'm a Penn Stater all the way, through and out. But Saban runs a good program down there on and off the field, and and so we know we're getting a quality person also with a quality ball player. And I'm old school, and I'm a big believer in that the running game sets the tone, and right now the Steelers need to get back to setting the tone. Yeah, and so I'm looking for Najee to be, to help us to really set the tone out there for the Steeler football that is to be.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for your time. I know you have busy nights ahead of you. Best of luck helping announce the Steelers' 2 draft picks tonight.
Thank you so much.
Exciting. Okay,
Steeler
Daryl.
Nation.
Wonderful, Daryl.
See you this
Great to
evening,
be part of
Franco.
this with you.